Before you buy a used truck, you need to hear this. Some of the most popular models are nothing but money pits. On the surface, they look reliable, rugged, and ready to work, but dig a little deeper and you'll find serious design flaws, mechanical nightmares, and endless repair costs. What makes one pickup truck a constant headache for its owner? Which stylish truck fails to deliver on its promises? And why is a trusted name in trucks falling apart? Hummer H2. Let us take a closer look at the Hummer H2, a vehicle that initially grabbed attention for its bold design and larger-than-life persona. If you have ever dreamed of driving a vehicle that feels like it could conquer the world, the Hummer H2 may have seemed like the perfect choice. With its rugged stance, military-inspired design, and commanding road presence, it certainly made a statement. However, what many buyers discovered, often too late, is that the Hummer H2 falls far short of being a practical or reliable truck. When you first encounter the Hummer H2, it is easy to be captivated by its sheer size and aggressive styling. It looks like a vehicle that could handle anything you throw at it, but appearances, as they say, can be deceiving. The Hummer H2 suffers from an identity crisis. Unlike its predecessor, the Hummer H1, which was purpose-built for rugged off-road adventures and had the durability to match, the Hummer H2 is more of a confused hybrid. It attempts to be both a sport utility vehicle and a pickup truck, but ultimately fails at both. This lack of focus becomes painfully evident when you look at the bed, a critical feature for any truck. The bed of the Hummer H2 is tiny, almost laughably so for a vehicle of its size. If you are planning to haul anything substantial, you will quickly find yourself out of luck. Whether you are transporting tools for work or loading up for a weekend camping trip, the limited space in the back makes the Hummer H2 impractical for anyone who genuinely needs a truck for its utility. This bed might work for light-duty tasks or carrying a few groceries, but anything more substantial is a challenge. Reliability is another significant issue with the Hummer H2. Owners have reported a myriad of problems, many of which are costly to fix. One of the most common complaints involves electronic failures. Whether it is the infotainment system, the power windows, or other electronic components, these systems tend to malfunction, leaving owners frustrated. Starting issues are another frequent problem, with many Hummer H2s requiring repairs just to get back on the road. And let us not forget the air conditioning system, which is notorious for breaking down, often at the most inconvenient times. For a vehicle that comes with such a high price tag, these recurring issues can feel like a slap in the face. Then there is the question of maintenance costs. Because the Hummer H2 uses components that are not widely available, repairs tend to be expensive. Parts are often difficult to source, and labor costs can be sky high. Even routine maintenance can end up costing significantly more than what you would expect to pay for a comparable vehicle. This means that owning a Hummer H2 can quickly become a financial burden, especially if you are unlucky enough to encounter frequent breakdowns. So who should buy a Hummer H2? If you are looking for a flashy vehicle that turns heads and grabs attention, and you do not mind the associated costs, it might still hold some appeal. Ram 1500. Next, let us turn our attention to the Ram 1500 from the year 2016. At first glance, this truck seems like a solid option. It boasts a bold design, a spacious interior, and the power you would expect from a full-size pickup truck. However, the reality of owning this vehicle is far less appealing. If you are considering purchasing a used Ram 1500 from this particular year, you should think twice. While it may look like a great deal on the surface, it is a decision that could lead to regret. One of the most significant issues with the 2016 Ram 1500 is its extensive list of recalls. Recalls are not uncommon in the automotive industry, but the sheer number affecting this model is staggering. Critical components such as the exhaust gas recirculation cooler, the camshaft position sensor, and the transmission control module have all been subject to recalls. These are not minor inconveniences. They are serious flaws that impact the truck's safety, performance, and reliability. For owners, this means repeated trips to the dealership and the frustration of dealing with a truck that simply does not live up to its promises. The engine of the 2016 Ram 1500 is another weak point. This model features a multi-displacement system designed to improve fuel efficiency by deactivating certain cylinders under light loads. While the concept sounds great in theory, in practice it often leads to problems. A common complaint among owners is the infamous lifter tick. This is a noise that indicates wear and tear within the engine's components. Over time, this issue can escalate, resulting in costly repairs or even complete engine failure. For a truck truck that many people buy with the expectation of long-term durability, these engine problems are a significant disappointment. Interior durability is yet another area where the 2016 Ram 1500 falls short. While the cabin may look stylish and comfortable at first, it does not take long for signs of wear and tear to appear. The seats are particularly prone to damage, with sagging cushions and torn upholstery being common complaints among owners. These issues may seem minor compared to mechanical problems, but they detract from the overall ownership experience and serve as a reminder of the truck's subpar quality. It is worth noting that the Ram 1500 is not without its redeeming qualities. The ride is comfortable and the truck has decent towing and hauling capabilities. For buyers who prioritize these features, it might still seem like a tempting option. However, when you weigh the pros against the cons, it becomes clear that the risks far outweigh the benefits. The combination of frequent recalls, engine problems, and interior durability concerns makes this model a gamble, and not one that many buyers are willing to take. If you are in the market for a used truck, there are better options available. Many other models offer the same level of performance and capability without the headaches that come with the 2016 Ram 1500. Chevrolet SSR. When it comes to pickup trucks, functionality often reigns supreme. Trucks are expected to haul, tow, and handle rugged tasks with ease. But the Chevrolet Supersport Roadster, commonly known as the Chevrolet SSR, decided to take a detour into the realm of style and novelty. Introduced in the early 2000s, this convertible pickup truck seemed like a bold, innovative idea at first glance. However, as buyers soon discovered, the Chevrolet SSR brought more frustration than utility to the table. Let us start with the design. The Chevrolet SSR embodies an identity crisis. It is a convertible, but it is also a pickup truck, or so it claims. In trying to fuse these two worlds, it ends up compromising both. The bed is exceptionally narrow, limiting the truck's hauling capabilities to the point of near uselessness. Picture loading up this truck with supplies for a home improvement project or a weekend camping trip. You would quickly realize that its bed size is better suited for carrying a few groceries than doing any serious work. That is not what you want in a pickup, and it raises the question, what was this truck designed for? Adding to the disappointment is the weight. The Chevrolet SSR is heavier than many full-size pickups, such as the Dodge Ram of the same era, but this weight does not translate into better performance. Instead, it detracts from the already limited hauling and towing capabilities. The truck's bulk makes it feel sluggish, negating the sporty appeal that a name like Supersport Roadster might suggest. Driving the Chevrolet SSR is like dragging around a lead weight, and that is something you will feel every time you press the accelerator. The Chevrolet SSR's exclusivity does not save it from its shortcomings. Originally marketed as a premium vehicle, its price tag reflected its rare and unusual nature. Buyers were drawn in by the promise of owning a one-of-a-kind convertible pickup, but they soon found themselves stuck with a high-maintenance novelty vehicle. For a truck that costs so much, you would expect at least some degree of practicality, yet the Chevrolet SSR consistently underdelivers. Its high cost paired with limited utility leaves potential buyers scratching their heads. Looking back, it is clear that the Chevrolet SSR should have stayed a concept vehicle. It was eye-catching as a showpiece, but its transition to production highlighted its lack of direction. As a novelty, it might earn a few admiring glances at car shows, but as a functional pickup, it is out of its depth. This is not a truck you would want to rely on for your day-to-day needs, whether that is commuting, hauling, or taking on rough terrain. If you are looking for a dependable used truck, the Chevrolet SSR is one to steer clear of. Its style may turn heads, but its performance will leave you shaking yours. Even from a collector's perspective, the Chevrolet SSR struggles to justify its place. Its quirks, while interesting, are not enough to outweigh the practical shortcomings. There are countless classic and modern trucks available that combine unique styling with robust functionality. By comparison, the Chevrolet SSR feels like a missed opportunity, a vehicle that tried to be everything and ended up being little more than a curiosity. Ultimately, pickup trucks are tools, vehicles that should make your life easier, not harder. They are meant to be reliable, versatile, and capable of handling a range of tasks. The Chevrolet SSR, for all its flair, fails on these counts. Ford F-250 with 6.4-liter diesel engine. When you hear the words Ford F-250, you likely think of a heavy-duty workhorse built to handle the toughest jobs. While many models in this iconic series live up to that reputation, the version equipped with the 6.4-liter twin-turbo diesel engine from the late 2000s falls tragically short. This truck, manufactured between 2008 and 2010, is a cautionary tale of early diesel technology trying to keep up with new emissions regulations. For viewers considering a used Ford F-250 from this era, proceed with caution. This is one truck you may want to avoid. The trouble begins under the hood. This engine was introduced during a period when stricter emission standards were being implemented and manufacturers were scrambling to adapt. As a result, the Ford F-250 with the 6.4-liter diesel engine came equipped with some of the earliest emissions control systems, including a diesel particulate filter. While these systems were intended to reduce environmental impact, they introduced a host of mechanical problems. The diesel particulate filter is often clogged, leading to poor fuel economy and reduced power. Imagine stepping on the gas pedal only to feel the truck struggle to deliver the robust performance you expect from a heavy-duty vehicle. Mechanical issues do not stop there. Leaking radiators, cracked downpipes, and excessive soot buildup are just a few of the common problems that plagued this engine. These issues not only make the truck expensive to maintain, but also severely compromise its reliability. And let us not forget the recalls. One particularly alarming recall involved a steering mounting flaw that could lead to a complete loss of control. For a vehicle marketed as a dependable work truck, these kinds of issues are inexcusable. Performance, a hallmark of the Ford F-250 name, is another area where this truck falters. Despite its twin-turbo setup and an impressive power rating of 350 horsepower, the 6.4-liter diesel engine often fails to deliver the punch it promises. Drivers frequently report sluggish acceleration and inconsistent towing capabilities, making it a poor choice for anyone who needs a truck that can keep up with demanding tasks. The power is there on paper, but in practice, it is held back by the engine's design flaws and the inefficiencies introduced by its emission systems. One of the most frustrating aspects of this model is the difficulty and expense of repairs. While earlier Power Stroke engines could be bulletproofed with aftermarket solutions to address their weaknesses, the 6.4-liter diesel engine is much harder to fix. Owners often find themselves sinking thousands of dollars into repairs, with no guarantee that the problems will not resurface. For anyone looking at a used truck, that kind of uncertainty is a deal breaker. Despite all these flaws, the Ford F-250 with the 6.4-liter diesel engine is not without its charms. Its interior, particularly in the King Ranch trim, is spacious and luxurious, featuring high-quality materials and a comfortable ride. But even these perks cannot compensate for its mechanical shortcomings. A heavy-duty truck is meant to work hard and last long, and this model simply does not meet those expectations. In hindsight, the Ford F-250 with the 6.4-liter diesel engine stands as a lesson in what happens when rushed technology meets consumer demand. If you are in the market for a used heavy-duty truck, there are far better options available. Newer Ford F-250 models with redesigned engines, such as the 6.7-liter Power Stroke diesel introduced in 2011, are a safer bet. Dodge Ram Daytona. When you first see a Dodge Ram Daytona, it's hard not to be intrigued. With its permanent spoiler, flashy racing stripes, and bold design, this truck is unapologetically built to turn heads. For some, it's the ultimate statement piece, a truck that screams power and performance. But let's face it, for most of us, owning a pickup truck isn't just about looking good, it's about getting the job done. That's where the Dodge Ram Daytona falls short, and why we strongly recommend steering clear of this used truck, no matter how tempting it might seem. One of the first things you'll notice about the Dodge Ram Daytona is its impracticality. That spoiler might look cool in a car show or speeding down a drag strip, but in everyday life, it becomes a major obstacle. Try loading up the bed with lumber, furniture, or even basic gear for a weekend trip, and you'll quickly realize how much that spoiler limits the functionality of this truck. It's not just a minor inconvenience, it's a design flaw that hampers the very purpose of a pickup truck. Add to that the narrow bed space, and you're looking at a vehicle that is more show than go. Now, to its credit, the Daytona was undeniably fast. Equipped with a powerful Hemi 8-cylinder engine, this truck was built for speed enthusiasts who enjoyed burning rubber on a straight track. The engine delivers an impressive punch, and it's no surprise that fans of performance vehicles were drawn to it. If all you care about is acceleration and torque, the Daytona might seem like a dream, but for viewers looking for a truck that can handle work duties, this is a glaring mismatch. What good is all that horsepower if you can't rely on the rest of the truck to keep up? Unfortunately, reliability is where the Dodge Ram Daytona takes a nosedive. This isn't just anecdotal, there's a pattern here. Owners of the Daytona frequently report issues with ball joints breaking, electronic system malfunctions, and air conditioning units that give up long before they should. It's frustrating to think that a vehicle with such a bold exterior could have such a weak backbone. Even though the Hemi engine is durable, the supporting components fail to live up to the same standard. In many cases, owners are left with repair bills that far outweigh the initial thrill of owning such a flashy vehicle. A particular story comes to mind when thinking about this truck. A customer of mine, eager to prove me wrong, purchased not one, but two Dodge pickups, a regular Ram and a Daytona. He was convinced Dodge trucks were underrated and wanted to make a statement. About 18 months later, he came back with a laundry list of issues that had cropped up with both vehicles. From constant mechanical failures to expensive repairs, his dream trucks turned into financial nightmares. He admitted he should have listened to my advice, but couldn't resist Daytona's style and speed. Let's talk about who this truck was really made for. The Dodge Ram Daytona was built for the enthusiast, someone who prioritizes speed and aesthetics over utility and reliability. And that's fine if you're buying a vehicle for occasional fun or as a collector's item. But for everyday use, for hauling equipment, towing, or even just getting groceries without worrying about something breaking, the Daytona just doesn't cut it. At the end of the day, style is great when it complements substance, but when substance is absent, you're left with a frustrating ownership experience. Mercedes XClass. The Mercedes XClass sounds luxurious, doesn't it? It's a pickup truck from a brand that practically invented premium automobiles. On paper, it seems like the perfect blend of sophistication and utility. A truck with the Mercedes-Benz badge, offering the refinement of a luxury car and the toughness of a working vehicle. For those drawn to high-end brands, it's easy to see why this truck might seem like the ultimate package. But for anyone who dives deeper into what the XClass truly offers, it quickly becomes clear why this is a vehicle you should avoid. First and foremost, let's address the elephant in the room. The Mercedes XClass is not really a Mercedes. Yes, it has the iconic star emblem proudly displayed on the grille, but beneath the surface, it's mostly a rebranded Nissan. Specifically, the XClass shares its platform with the Nissan Navara, which is far from a standout in the pickup world. The engine, Nissan. The transmission, also Nissan. While Nissan makes respectable vehicles, you're not paying $50,000 for a Nissan. You're paying for what you believe to be a premium Mercedes product. That's a hard pill to swallow for anyone expecting top-tier German engineering. And speaking of cost, this truck is priced like a premium product, with starting prices that make it one of the most expensive options in its class. For that price, you would expect groundbreaking performance, impeccable reliability, and a level of craftsmanship that leaves competitors in the dust. Sadly, the XClass doesn't deliver on any of those fronts. Owners often report issues with the drivetrain, electrical system, and the infamous Jatco automatic transmission, which is widely regarded as one of the least reliable transmissions on the market. Paying a luxury price for subpar performance is not just disappointing, it's downright infuriating. The design and market positioning of the Mercedes XClass also raise questions. It was primarily sold in European markets, where pickup trucks don't have the same cultural or functional significance as they do in places like North America. In Europe, trucks are often used for commercial purposes, and luxury pickups are practically unheard of. Mercedes attempted to fill this niche, but it feels like a half-hearted effort. The XClass ends up being a confused product, too utilitarian for a luxury buyer, but too expensive and fragile for someone seeking a durable work truck. One of the most glaring issues with the XClass is how it attempts to use snob appeal to justify its existence. The idea of a luxury pickup truck might sound enticing, but it's a concept that often falls apart in execution. Why spend tens of thousands more on an XClass when you could buy a tried and true pickup from Ford, Chevrolet, or Toyota that offers better reliability, lower maintenance costs, and a track record of proven performance? To make matters worse, the XClass doesn't even perform particularly well. Its towing and hauling capabilities are mediocre at best, and it lacks the ruggedness that buyers in the pickup market expect. Whether you're using it for light-duty work or trying to navigate rough terrain, the XClass often leaves its owners underwhelmed. In the end, the Mercedes XClass feels like a marketing experiment gone wrong. It tries to appeal to too many different audiences and ends up satisfying none of them. Honda Ridgeline. When it comes to pickup trucks, viewers expect reliability, toughness, and the ability to handle heavy-duty tasks. The Honda Ridgeline, however, leaves much to be desired in these departments. While Honda has built an impressive reputation with their dependable cars and motorcycles, the transition into the world of trucks has been less than stellar. For those in search of a used pickup, this is one vehicle that may not meet your expectations. The earlier models of the Honda Ridgeline, particularly those manufactured before the year 2018, have raised eyebrows among truck enthusiasts. Designed with the DNA of a car rather than a robust truck, these vehicles lack the ruggedness and durability expected in this category. For instance, their unibody construction, a departure from the traditional body-on-frame design found in most pickups, limits their ability to handle tough terrain and heavy payloads effectively. This design might appeal to those looking for a smoother ride, but for individuals who need a truck that can perform demanding tasks, it feels like a compromise. The performance issues extend beyond just the design. The hauling capacity of the earlier Ridgeline models is subpar when compared to similar trucks in the same price range. For anyone considering the Ridgeline as a workhorse, the disappointment becomes apparent. Its engine, while suitable for smaller loads and day-to-day driving, struggles when pushed to carry heavier weights. Additionally, the automatic transmissions found in these vehicles are another weak point. Honda, though excellent in crafting car transmissions, seem to falter when applying the same technology to trucks. These transmissions have been known to fail prematurely, leaving owners with unexpected and costly repairs. One might argue that the Ridgeline could serve as a light-duty truck for urban users who prioritize comfort over capability. While this might be true for newer models that show some improvement in design and functionality, the used models on the market today do not inspire the same confidence. They lack the long-standing heritage of ruggedness that defines other trucks, making them feel like an awkward attempt at breaking into an unfamiliar market. As a viewer considering a used pickup, it is important to think critically about your needs and whether the Ridgeline truly aligns with them. If you require a dependable, powerful, and versatile vehicle to handle work, play, and everything in between, better options are undoubtedly available. Trucks like the Toyota Tacoma or Ford Ranger, which have a proven track record of reliability, might offer more peace of mind and long-term value. In short, while the Honda Ridgeline might seem appealing at first glance due to its comfort and Honda's overall reputation, it falls short of delivering what buyers typically expect from a pickup. And there you have it, 7 trucks you should steer clear of when shopping for a used pickup. Do you agree with the list, or do you think we missed one? Let us know in the comments which trucks you think deserve a spot on this list, or which ones have surprised you with their performance.